It's the powerful video that's moved more than 50 million viewers. A Colorado woman looking silently into the camera, holding up handmade note cards, telling a chilling tale of sexual abuse.
It took me like probably 6 hours to make those cards because I kept breaking down.
What is the story behind these cards? Catherine St. Germain is a single mom who finds love with a charming man she's known for 20 years.
I totally thought, this is it. This is the big grand romance. This is the guy. This is the knight on the white horse.
Aaron Scott had a glowing resume, father of 3, former cop and Navy veteran. The couple tied the knot. Aaron moving in with Catherine and her 15-year-old daughter, Alyssa.
When did you say, if he asks, I'm gonna say yes? When did you know?
I think almost immediately, I knew. I felt safe. I felt appreciated. I felt valued. I felt loved.
A man Catherine hoped would be a strong father figure for her teenage daughter.
You know, I thought, you know, this is gonna be it. You know, this is gonna be the guy that's gonna take care of me and, you know, treat me like a princess and, you know, like I'm gonna be daddy's girl.
The fact that he's a Navy veteran, was a cop, did that almost make you feel safer?
Oh yeah, everything about him. He was a big dude, he looked like a Viking. But I mean, to me, he was like a giant teddy bear.
When it came to their relationship, what did you like about it?
If she had a bad day, he would want to take her to ice cream. He just kind of went out of his way to make her laugh. They had inside jokes. I felt like they had this good special bond.
But as Alyssa and Catherine were about to discover, that bond was all smoke and mirrors. The perfect stepdaddy turned into the perfect sex predator.
There were like precursors to it that, you know, led up to it. And, you know, it would be something like he'd come into my room and just sit with me and we'd talk.
It all happened right under Catherine's nose. The teen says the visits grew more intimate. He would lay in bed next to her, sometimes wearing only his boxers. And then, the night that will be seared in Alyssa's mind forever.
The night that he came in was, you know, just like any other night. You know, he came in and wanted to talk with me, and so he, you know, he laid down next to me, and it gets kind of fuzzy here, but, you know, what happened was he, like, moved my leg, like, kind of over him, and he had his arm wrapped around me and ended up sticking that down my shirt and into my bra. And, I mean, I froze. You know, just every inch of me just, like, went dead. And, you know, from there, he ended up sticking his hand down my pants. And I remember, you know, pushing him away. And, you know, he ended up, you know, like getting up and leaving.
Incredibly, shortly after being sexually assaulted, Aaron returned to Alyssa's room.
He actually came back and then took me out and bought me a pack of cigarettes and bribed me with that and tried to get me to like kiss him and hold his hand and stuff. And I just like, when he did all that stuff, I was like, you're married to my mom.
Alyssa vowed to keep silent about the assault. She didn't want to ruin her mom's new life, especially since Aaron was the breadwinner. But the next day, Alyssa had a change of heart and revealed the horror she endured to friends who urged her to go to police.
You get a phone call from Loveland Police.
Yep. It was right about time for my daughter to get out of school. My phone rang, and it was a police officer telling me, come to the station. We have your daughter. Don't freak out. Don't panic. She's fine. But we need you to come to the station, and we need you to not tell your husband where you're going.
What did you think that meant? Don't tell your husband.
What did he do? All your worst fears crop up in your head, and I remember thinking this can't be happening, but it was. It happened to me.
Loveland, Colorado cops give Catherine Alyssa's statement, explicitly detailing everything that happened.
You read the report?
Yep. I think I made it A couple of lines in, and I got the gist of it, and I just collapsed.
Then detectives had Alyssa make a phone call to her stepdad, all in an attempt to get Aaron to admit to his actions. But instead, the teen says, the words that poured out of his mouth were pure evil.
And he flat out, called me a liar and accused me of, saying insane things and, brought up that if I kept saying stuff like this, that my mom would end up in a mental hospital. It broke me. Because he went from a sweet, loving stepdad to someone who was hurting me, and then, hurting me even more.
Since Alyssa came forward within 24 hours of the assault, investigators were able to extract Aaron's DNA from her clothing, and the results came back a match to Aaron Scott.
Did you tell him, get out, get your stuff?
I didn't have to tell him. He knew. He knew, and he was gone that day within 24 hours.
Marriage over.
Yep, deal breaker. You're done. You're lucky you're driving away.
Cops busted Aaron. He struck a plea deal, guilty of sexual assault. He was sentenced to only 90 days in jail with 8 years probation and was required to register as a sex offender.
It just crushed me knowing that he wasn't gonna get years, that he was gonna get, something much smaller.
I like to say that he got 90 days and we got life, because that's about how fair it feels.
The DA here has taken some heat for this, for what some people are calling a cop-out. A very weak sentence for a very cruel and very disgusting crime. But this mother, well, she sees things a little differently, and she really wants other parents to understand why.
She didn't want her daughter to go through a trial. Alyssa had already been through enough. So Catherine decided to make a bold move, posting a powerful video on her Facebook page.
I was really hoping it would get maybe like 50 shares so that it could help maybe like one family.
But that video didn't get 50 shares. It got more than 50 million. Her message going viral in a major way, blowing up the internet, reaching women around the world.
And the reality is, you and I don't have anything to be ashamed of. He does. There's only shame in his choice that he woke up that morning and decided, I don't want to be a husband and a father anymore. I'd rather be a pedophile.
Catherine and Alyssa are moving on with their lives. But before they close this dark chapter, there are some things they want to bring to light.
If you're using the National Sex Offender Registry to find out that there's a pedophile living 5 blocks from you, you're using it wrong. Stranger danger is a joke. It is way more likely to be someone you know and in your life. So what you need to do is take the Sex Offender Registry and plug names into it. Type in boyfriends, type in your friends, type in coaches, type in anyone who has access to your children.
It's a tool which, she says, could warn the next woman who dates Aaron Scott to prevent the horrors he unleashed on her innocent 15-year-old girl.
If there's a girl out there right now watching this, and she hasn't told anybody, and she's going through, exactly what I'm going through, or worse, tell someone that you trust, tell someone that you care about, tell somebody. Just don't let it continue.
As for Aaron Scott, he is living in Oklahoma, where he served out his sentence and where he will start his 8 years of probation, living under the microscope of intensive sex offender supervision, like he should be.